Oh, okay. Yeah,
Clearly,
but that's what I read.
yeah, greatest actress.
It was her problem as to why it was a flop.
Greatest actress of the 20th century, in my humble opinion. Clearly, it was her fault. But she went on to another film. I can't remember what it was.
The Philadelphia Story.
That's the one, and she killed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Well, everyone says
and everyone went, "Oh, well, it's not her." So I asked
But
again.
it never got reviewed.
Yes. Well, we won't talk about bloody...
The movie got re-released in the 40s, they said, and everyone thought it was awesome. Is that because after she's succeeded? I don't know.
Perception.
Yes. As to it's a bit like our discussion before,
yes,
where I was talking about an actor that I like in a movie, and then I watched him in another movie,
that's
and I went,
why
I'm so disappointed because it was such a bad film. And
that's why I made the comment.
Right, now that makes sense. The conversation earlier.
When you watch your favourite actor in what can only be described as excrement, the film was an insult to humanity. It was...
Do we need to explain to people what we're talking about? Oh, look, I'll do it. Sorry. I have to admit, I'm a big fan of Chris Hemsworth. I think he's awesome. I love Thor.
You're getting sidetracked.
No, I'm not.
Just it doesn't matter whatever.
Stick with me.
Okay, it's about you. Go on.
It is about me. Once we realise this, everyone's lives will be better.
Oh, shut up.
I'm a fan of Chris Hemsworth. I think he's an awesome Thor. I've seen him in other films like Rush, and I think he does really well.
Seen Rush?
Yes.
Sorry, I only asked that to annoy you. Go on.
Stop interrupting. Where was I? No more gin for me. Okay. I'm losing track of what I'm saying. Anyway, so I watched the new Ghostbusters film, and I went, oh, it's got Chris Hemsworth in it. It should be awesome.
Well, at least he'll be awesome in it.
I was pretty disappointed.
Yes.
I was really disappointed. So I could just see, now I can see where you're coming from in the fact that people were like, watch this film. They went, oh, it must have been Katharine Hepburn. See her in Philadelphia Story. This movie, Bringing Up Baby, gets re-released after her success. And then people go, oh, actually, it is awesome.
It is awesome. Yeah, it wasn't a pile of shit after all.
Oh, because we love her so much.
The Emperor's clothes are fantastic.
But even though this film is rubbish, because we love her, it's awesome.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Because
that makes
people,
more sense now.
At the end of the day, are idiots.
Are you looking at me then when you say
that?
No,
I'm talking about humanity in general.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
it is the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen.
It's not the biggest pile of shit you've ever seen.
No, it is the biggest pile of shit. It is worse than North by Northwest.
Really?
I
would not say that myself.
I love Katharine Hepburn. I think she is the greatest actress of the 20th century. I think she has spanned most of it. She has won more Academy Awards than any other actress in Hollywood history. I think I'm correct in saying that.
I'm not backing that up because I don't have enough information.
She won one for Golden Pond.
Yeah, but just because she won one doesn't make her the most... As in, we'd have to look that up.
I think she has.
Don't make blatant statements.
When I was looking up about... my favourite film from the 50s, what was it? The 60s. Look Who's Coming for Dinner.
Oh, yeah. Guess who's coming.
So, yes, and I think it mentioned that she was, probably the most awarded female actress of the 20th century. Okay. And the only other one that I can think of would be Meryl Streep, who would probably... Yes. Who's also the heavy-hitter.
She's very
a real
talented.
heavy hitter.
Yeah.
But she certainly hasn't done the time like Katharine Hepburn did, because she... from one end of the century to the other sort of thing, and she was nailing it the whole way through.
Oh, she's still got time.
Well, that's true. That's true. She's still going, so she's got ways to go yet. But I get sidetracked. This film broke my heart.
So it's not just me.
This film broke my heart. It really did. I was so angry. Now I can say clearly, we had to stop it at 20 minutes. Jolly was furious at me.
Why was Jolly furious?
He was furious that I made him sit down and watch such a pile of shit. Now, he's only 26 and he's sitting there and he's watching it and going, really? Really? Because, it starts off, it's so frenetic. The acting from my favourite actor, whatever he's fucking... I'm not even going to say his name anymore. Fuck him. He does not deserve any kind of recognition whatsoever. He is a moron.
Oh, look, to tell you the truth... I've seen him...
Not just a character.
I've seen him in 4 films, and I've not been impressed by any of it.
No, I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. It's just like somebody keeps... It's like Kevin Costner. People keep going to those...
You can't say that. We have not done a second film.
I've watched many Kevin Costner...
We haven't even done one film with Kevin... No.
I've seen many Kevin Costner films, and he's shit in all of them.
No, we need to watch one and review it properly.
The Postman.
What? No.
Yes, if I have to watch a Kevin Costner movie...
I will look into it.
I'm not watching Dance with Wolves. No, sorry. Not doing it.
Listen, I will look through.
Not going to see white man coming in to save the bloody natives again. So, not going to happen.
I will have a look. You know what? Dances with Wolves and Postman are not the only movies he's been in. So we'll have a look.
Okay.
Let me have a look. We'll find something obscure and see how he goes.
We digress. Getting back to Idiot Head, whatever his name is, the guy was just... it was the most irritating character, and like whoever wrote the script was clearly on some sort of opioids, because, oh my God, as you said, and you correctly added, you couldn't work out why Katharine Hepburn's character kept going back to this guy, and for the first half of the film, all he did on a circular route was saying, "Look, I'm sorry, Miss Vance, but I have had enough. I do not want to see you anymore at all, ever again. Good night, sir." You know, it was that kind of moronic shit that just kept going over and over and over and over and over again. And I was like, okay, we get it. And she just, like a fly to the bloody lamp, just kept going back. And it was making her look like an idiot. Because why would anyone go back to this moron?
It didn't make sense.
It made no sense whatsoever. And
she was genuinely funny.
She had comedic timing.
She was doing really well, but there was parts of it where you think, well, that doesn't make sense for her character.
But the script she was given was just a pile of shit. The script was terribly written. But what broke my heart was, I am sure, because you've got to understand, like when she was raised by a very forward-thinking, feministic suffragette, a fully fledged suffragette from the early turn of the century, and she was as any woman was at that stage of the game, was one of the most empowered women's, you know, getting around on 2 legs. You know, if she was flying an aeroplane, she would have been on the same plane with the famous aviator, that female aviator. I can't remember her name off the top of my head now.
You've just put me on the spot.
I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm showing my own ignorance. I can't remember what her name is. Amelia Earhart.
Thank you.
Yes, it finally came back through all the alcohol. She
ask these questions before we
She
drink.
was a sportswoman. She was an expert golfer. She had won tournaments and things like that. She just did whatever the hell she wanted to do, and she was grasping life by the throat, you know. And then she was stuck in this idiotic play where she was just this mindless twit. Bimbo is the best word I could describe. And I could see her, in some of the lines she was saying it through gritted teeth. There was times...
I didn't get the gritted teeth. I thought she was very professional.
I felt it. Maybe it was a little bit because...
Maybe you were sitting there with gritted teeth.
But I felt that she must have been hating herself while she was doing this film.
Look, it wasn't a great film.
It was terrible. It was just...
It wasn't the worst film, but it wasn't great. No, it wasn't the worst film. No, it wasn't. There's worse films out there.
Not seen them. Not seen them. No, this is a new floor. This is a new low for me. It's an absolute. I've not seen a film that bad.
If it wasn't for the fact that I have to watch them as well, I'd throw a few up there. But anyway, that's not the whole idea of this podcast. We want to find great movies for people. So
this wasn't it.
No.
No. This is... Look, all I can say to people is, if you want to go and watch Katharine Hepburn be humiliated, and that's the... no, I'm sorry. This is the only way I can describe it. This film was just a humiliation to a great actress. And there are films out there that had... God, I shouldn't be in movie podcasts. I really shouldn't.
Why is that?
What's the name of...
I actually can't remember names. Well, neither of us can.
Don't dance too close, you'll crush my chocolates. You know... The Scottish...
What are you trying to be?
Oh, Sean Connery. Sean Connery, thank you, yes.
You didn't say anything like Sean Connery.
Please. I sounded like him.
Were you trying to be Sean
Fucking
Connery?
nailed it. Anyway.
I got to see Sean Connery typing on our Facebook page.
I
don't sound like that at all. Paul, stop it.
In the early 70s and the late 60s, after he got out of the Bond movies, he had to make a living. And that's what I got the feeling with her. She just had to pay the bills for this one. And she had to do this film, pay the bills.
The guy who directed this, Howard Hawks, was supposed to be this guy who was putting up women who were supposed to be strong characters.
Yep.
And like all the women in his movies were called Hawks and Women or whatever it was called. So as in she was probably drawn to that by the fact that, he's...
Well, she got a surprise, didn't she?
Well, I'm just saying, and when you're an actress and that's your bread and butter, you've got to work as well. But the fact that he's supposed to be that sort of director, I mean, she would have got drawn to that.
People should have been executed for that film.
But what I'm saying is, sometimes you can't pick what you're doing, or you think what you've picked isn't quite what you've chosen. That didn't make any sense, did it?
That was fine. What? I wasn't listening anyway. What did you...
star rating.
Star rating.
Oh, this is hard.
Oh, come on.
Because there's parts of her...
No.
No, stop. Don't interrupt me.
Oh, I can.
No, but don't.
You do it to me all the time.
Since when?
All the time. Constantly.
Do you want me to give this a star rating?
Go on.
So, the problem...
I'm not interrupting at all. I don't. No. Go on. You're right. I won't do it.
My glass is empty. I can't even throw a liquid at you. Anyway, so the problem I had with this film is there's parts of it that were genuinely funny.
Which bits?
Catherine's bits.
Yes.
So... I sat through the film. I didn't look at my watch going, oh, this is bloody awful.
Can I tell you something just before you go on? It took me 5 viewings to get through the film. 5.
It took me 1, but
it took me all week.
I have to admit, I didn't watch this twice. I normally do.
I was flat out. I was so proud of myself when I got to the end. It took me all week. I sat down and I watched about 15 minutes. I could only handle about 15 minutes the whole way through each time. It was just like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there.
I reckon I'd give this a 4, maybe a 5, 4.
Oh, geez, you're generous.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
What are you going to give it, Paul? Oh, 1.
1.
Are you serious?
I'm going to give it a fucking 1. It was excrement. It was a big pile of steaming excrement. The only reason it gets a single point was because my favourite film actress was in it, was Katharine Hepburn, and I thought she did a decent job. Everybody else in that was god-awful. Thankfully, they're all dead now.
Oh, gee.
What?
I hope none of them
deserve nothing less. Terrible. Dreadful.
Anyway, so 4 from me, 1 for
should be
Paul
stricken off the bloody acting roles.
for bringing up Baby.
Honestly.
So next week, we're going to do an obscure film and one of my favourites.
What are you listening to next week?
What am I listening to?
Oh, well,
watching.
Work with me here, Pip.
So the obscure film we picked is an Aussie film called The Sum of Us.
Yes.
With a very young Russell Crowe.
This is the obscure film.
That's the obscure film.
Yep.
And the favourite of mine is What We Do in the Shadows, which is a New Zealand film by Taika Waititi.
Now, we've both watched this, and I have to say, boys and girls... No, I'll just say this. I would like people to come to this with an open mind and go off and watch it for yourselves, because I think it'll be quite an entertaining conversation.
Or they could wait and hear what we have to say.
I'm not saying whether it's good or bad.
No, but they could wait for us to
No.
say talk about it.
Look, it won't kill you. Just get off your asses, go down, find a copy of it and watch it. And I think you'll enjoy the conversation that will come forth. Can
I just say one thing before we finish up tonight?
Yes.
I mean, I've only had one of my favourites come up, and you've had 2 of your favourites come up.
I'm happy for you to pick.
No. You're missing the point. Have you noticed the star rating values of my favourites have been higher than yours?
Yes.
I just want to draw listeners to that.
Well, why do you think that that's the case?
Because I'm fabulous.
No, that doesn't. That does not make scientific reasoning in any way, shape, or form. No, it simply means that you cannot extract yourself from your decision-making process on the film itself. Your emotions become ensnared within the rating system, whereas I am pure.
But you enjoy the films I pick.
Well, you pick good films.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, come on. I mean, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking